In joyous ceremonies, the French territories took full independence. Ivory Coast, Mali, Senegal. But the new leaders knew the real problems they faced. Unity was difficult in new countries whose borders had been drawn up to suit European convenience, enclosing different tribes and languages: Nigeria, Zaire, Rwanda. Few of the new nations had enough trained administrators: Tanzania, Uganda, Somalia. And in 1963, 7 years after the Mau Mau uprisings, Kenya finally got its independence from Britain.
Are the Africans ready to and experienced enough to take over the actual administration of government yet?
Yes, they are, certainly.
Do you expect that they will do that, or do you want British civil servants to stay and help?
Oh, we want the help. We want the friends. Those who can work under an African government. We want them. But what we don't want is masters.
As Kenya became an independent nation, Ghana seemed to be prospering under its leader, Kwame Nkrumah. Ghana was rich in cocoa and gold, and Ghanaians expected tangible improvements in their lives, economic freedom, as well as political freedom.
Do you think it's better now?
It's far better than before. Far better.
Do you make more money now?
Yes, please. Make more money. Our trade is on successfully, and we feel happy now than before.
We are happy in everything on account of the independence.
Ghana had all the trappings of a new nation. A brand new airline was training its own pilots. Communications were better.
Hello, London. Hello, London.
Ghana Airways, roads, schools, colleges, universities, harbors, everything. Buildings. You see, these estate houses were all built by Nkrumah for the poor. And you see some poor people now having a house to live in. Education. People like me couldn't have been a lawyer. It's impossible. But when Nkrumah came, he opened the doors for everybody.
Like most of the new African governments, Ghana adopted a socialist system and believed central planning would bring the fastest improvement for the mass of the population. Nkrumah called his version scientific socialism.
Ghana has made challenging and exciting plans for industrial development. They will attract foreign investment and increase and diversify her production, which has hitherto depended largely on the cocoa crop. The spectacular progress made industrially and financially in Ghana has captured the imagination.
The giant Volta Dam would produce all the electricity the country needed and allow aluminum to be smelted in a new plant as well. But in the rush for development, mistakes were made. Ghanaians soon became victims of bad advice and greed. Huge silos built for the cocoa crop were never used. The aluminum smelter was a financial disaster, and the new projects Nkrumah undertook were increasingly motivated by politics, not by real need.
This did not warrant a 4-lane highway. A 2-lane highway at that time would have been enough. There were other places in Ghana which required that money, and that money wasn't put in the right place. Eventually, a friend of my father called me aside and said, "Hey, keep your mouth shut. Don't interfere with the politics of this game." At that time, it was felt that there was a bit of a rub-off on the party so that the party could be financially strong. The usual thing that was bandied around was that 10% of every project went to the party.
Nkrumah was now gathering all political power into his own hands and building a cult around himself. He was the savior, Messiah, Redeemer. His picture was on shirts and dresses, coins and stamps. Streets were renamed after him. His titles included Chairman of the Central Committee, Prime Minister, and General Secretary of the party. Ghana became the first of many one-party states in Africa.
More people have been fined for breaking the curfew imposed last Saturday in the city of Accra. 89 people appeared before a magistrate's court. They all pleaded guilty.
The economic promises weren't delivered, and scientific socialism soon turned into autocracy.
People were afraid to speak their minds. You were spied on. Anything you said against Nkrumah could be written down and they'd come and arrest you. If they arrested you, they didn't ask you about what you'd said. They just sent you to prison. If you were there and you died, you died.
Ghana is passing through a revolutionary period. We cannot, under any circumstances, allow imperialists and new colonialists to interlock with traitors in our midst to deflect us from the path of duty and progress.
In 1966, Nkrumah was deposed by his own army. The same Ghanaians who'd at first worshipped him now turned on him. World cocoa prices had slumped, state-run development had cost too much, foreign loans had stopped, the country was bankrupt. Only 10 years after independence, the hopes people had put in Nkrumah lay shattered. The Republic of the Congo, later to be called Zaire, celebrated its independence from Belgium in 1960. Its first prime minister was the founder of the Congolese national movement, Patrice Lumumba.
De l'indépendance, aujourd'hui victorieux, je vous salue au nom du gouvernement congolais.
But the transition to independence was plagued with difficulty for Lumumba's country. Its frontiers were artificial, its people divided. The Belgians had hoped this day would never come. They'd made no preparations for the handover. Few Congolese had higher education. There were no black doctors, no engineers, no senior administrators. The Belgians got out quickly. All the expertise that had run the country departed for Brussels. The army mutinied, and long-suppressed tribal hatreds broke out. Lumumba was captured by the army. Watched by its commander, Mobutu, he was tortured and forced to eat his own words. The few Europeans who stayed on were attacked. Ordinary Congolese had been led to believe that with independence they'd share the riches that had previously gone to Belgium. In fact, after a few months of civil war, the capacity to generate wealth was destroyed. Africans saw homes and offices vandalized, bridges blown up, and the country in ruins. At the same speed that independence days had followed one another in the early 60s, military strongmen now took over, usually backed by one of the superpowers. They claimed they were the only ones who could bring stability. In the Congo, Joseph Mobutu had the support of the United States, which saw him as an ally in the fight to keep the continent from communism. Takeover followed takeover. In Nigeria, Sierra Leone, Uganda. Most of the new dictators were cruel and corrupt. For Africans, one kind of repression was replaced by another. Ghana had 14 coups or attempted coups in as